Ahoy, bold leaders. Today we have an incredibly important thing to talk about, which is how to actually achieve our goal. And it doesn't matter if you want to get 100 people to be added to your email list in 5 days, or you want to manifest the amazing, incredible abundance. Everything comes down to a few things that we need to remember about when it comes to building this result. So in every single theoretically working manifestation field, you're going to hear that you need to believe that everything is going to happen in accordance with your plan, with your desire. And the truth is, when we connect with this desire, in most cases, it works amazingly well. But the truth is, through socialization, we learned that we not always get what we desire. So we need the boldness and the ability to actually become again self-reliant. So evaluate yourself and please drop below. What is your score on a scale from 1 to 10 that you would give yourself in self-reliance? And the truth is, when we think about how we might harm our children, or we were hurt as children, like depending on what stage of your life cycle and the family is, the worst thing that we can do to our children, apart from, of course, abuse and all the things, like in different families, it has happened. I'm not denying you the right to feel hurt. I'm just saying that the thing that we actually deprive children from is the ability to say that they make decisions and their decisions are respected. So when we grow older, we start believing that making decisions is actually hard, and the ability to continue what we decided and accept what we decided starts to be very challenging. So let's talk about that. Parents teach us that they decide for us and that they know what is good for us, even if they don't know it actually. But the older people don't say that they don't know because they don't want to admit that actually it is a challenging thing to say what is good for someone else, right? So then when we go to school, society also makes it feel that we can't actually make decisions, even though we got this as we were born, like as the free will was given to us by the God. You might say universe, whatever we believe, okay? I believe in God, so I'm saying about the God. And once we got to this, the free will, the ability to make decisions, then through the process of becoming adult, we were continuously informed that it's not true. We can make decisions, but they don't work. They don't have consequences. They don't have the results. So the ability for us to ignite the boldness to dare again to believe, to dare to feel that we are actually self-reliant, that we can make decisions, and that those decisions have results, not consequences, is actually amazing because it helps us manifest faster. And the truth is, even if we use all the strategies and we do everything from A to Z, it still might not work just because we are searching for the external validation to our desires and to our fears. I had an incredible conversation with my mentor, and she was saying that actually, when you have the ability to perceive everything as the input, but you yourself define yourself and you evaluate if those inputs are true or not, this is the ability to create freedom. This is the ability to create your own desire to become. And this is why in this particular masterclass, I'm sharing with you this particular AI prompt because, I'm all about the AI. And by the way, I didn't say who I am. So, hi, I'm Betty Gottwald. I'm your AI captain. I'm here to help you use artificial intelligence to manifest your wildest dreams. So thinking about the prompt that I'm sharing with you, I'm not saying only about the business strategy, but I'm saying actually about how to use artificial intelligence for the manifestation purposes so that you see everything as the opportunity for you to get better and to have amazing results. And when someone tells you that all you have to do is just to put in ChatGPT, create affirmations for me that are going to strengthen my feature, they don't know what they're talking about, okay? Because when you know how to prompt artificial intelligence and how to actually provide context, then the results of the prompt are going to be far better. So I'm somehow explaining to you why this prompt is so long, because we need to provide information to artificial intelligence so that it works to its best ability to help you achieve what you actually want to achieve. So in the prompt, you will have some brackets in which you need to put your information. So for example, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being completely dependent and 10 being radically self-reliant, this individual confidently scores a number. So here we need your number from you. And the description that we're going to get as the result of this prompt is going to help us see and feel more self-reliant and to grow the self-reliance in the process. And the truth is, when we think about your own abilities, your own changes, and your desires, when you start believing that you actually can make decisions and those decisions are actually going to serve you, you free your will. And when we start thinking about our goals, because it all brings us to the goals, no matter what your goal is, it is going to be challenging for you to achieve this goal when you focus your energy and your attention only on this desire. Because the truth is, when we are trying to think like, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this, I really desperately need this, I need to pray stronger, I need to manifest more, we are constantly trying to fight for this to work. We are constantly trying to push, as Jenny's saying, like it doesn't work. And for that reason, we need to find the balance. So let's speak about the balance and why it's so important. When you start perceiving your situation as the result of your previous actions, you will start noticing patterns. Let me tell you once again. When we start analyzing our input and outputs, we start seeing patterns. And most of those patterns, I'm saying it's with 100% confidence, are not related just to our like thought processes and logic, but they are related to our psychology and to neurobiology. So let's speak about neurobiology from a perspective of kind of magic and how artificial intelligence supports us in using what we already know about human brain and human mind so that we know how to make us work a little bit better and more in alignment with what we want to achieve. In most cases, we were taught that we need to have the vision board on which we're going to see the picture of the desired results. For example, the house, the relationship, and all the things. Some coaches also tell us that we should create the description like in written form. We can write it in the journal in the present tense. And the truth is, all those techniques can work, but they are missing one very important element. Because human mind constantly works towards something, and at the same time, we are running from something else. So when we are focused 100% on the desire, we are actually trying to kind of hide in the shadows, again, something that we are running away from. But our brain needs to see the complete picture. I am not saying that we should focus on luck and we should focus on, oh my God, I'm going to lose my job and all the things are going to go the wrong way. But we need to have both pictures to create a complete vision to our brain so that our brain sees, okay, so this is what we want and this is why we don't want that. So when we set our intentions and when we set our goals from understanding both possible outcomes, the reality of our brain is working a little bit different. So let's speak about the hormones standing behind it. So the first one would be dopamine. Dopamine is the motivation molecule, and it helps us to anticipate the end reward. So we try to feel that something is going to happen. It's going to be interesting, amazing, beautiful, great. And this prepares us to focus more, to be in the state of attention. And the truth is, when we like stimulate the focus, then we see novelty in situations and we start seeing more patterns, and it's easier for us to create new habits And spoiler alert, if we want to create the reality you desire, if we want to create the reality we desire, we need to focus on something, because then our focus and state of novelty allows us to push ourselves through the most challenging moments when we don't want to do something, when we don't want to go further, okay? Then the second hormone would be serotonin, which is called the mood booster. There are moments when we feel down, and serotonin helps us feel motivated, feel positive emotions, feel better. And the truth is, serotonin also is an amazing hormone that stimulates our self-belief. So when you know how to stimulate those two, which is, again, the first one was dopamine, and the second one was serotonin. Those two are activated when you use your vision boards, when you connect yourself with the vision of the future, when you're operating from the perspective of being already the person who has this result. But the truth is, there are also two more hormones that are very important in this equation, and in the existing methodologies that I followed, they are not there. Or at least coaches are trying to say they are not there, but actually they are. And the first one is epinephrine, and the second one is adrenaline. And their role is to heighten the energy and also to heighten the awareness. Because when we start thinking about the not desired state, then epinephrine and adrenaline push us to the action catalyst, to the action state, where actually we have the energy of miracles. So adrenaline is responsible for a lot of different situations where people were doing not humane-like things. Like, for example, pulling up the cars from children who were being like under the car, because the mother felt so nervous and so full of adrenaline, she had superpowers. You can say that this is kind of borrowing energy from the collective, and we need to give it back some moment. Of course, I'm not trying to fight your belief, but on the biological level, we have this ability in our bodies, in our brain. So when we add the four into the equation, then all the manifestation processes and goal setting starts to be more efficient, because you're not working only with the two positive hormones, but also with the two negative ones that are trying to push you forward. And they create a balance in our brain because they push us into action. And we might say that we can increase adrenaline by, for example, exercising. And this is why coaches are telling us that we need to move our body. We need to move more. We need to be more active. Because this is how they stimulate the energy of adrenaline and epinephrine. This is how they handle it. So if we understand how it operates, now let's speak about how to use it for our manifestations, okay? So as we understand that we need to have two clear scenarios of two alternative outcomes that can happen on equal levels, the one that we desire the most and the one that we fear most. And when we see them both on a plate, then our brain thinks, okay, so this is what we want, and this is what we definitely not want. And now let's speak how artificial intelligence can actually help us with this. And the truth is, I'm not using AI just to create the affirmations or to say me something nice. I'm using artificial intelligence in a 5-step process so that I can achieve more in a shorter period of time, in a shorter time. So the first step is to set the desired outcome. No wind is good for the ship that doesn't know where it wants to go. So we need to have this desired outcome. We need to create this vision. And of course, when you use AI supercharged photos, it's far easier to see this desired result. But even without it, you need to ask yourself a series of real, deep questions that are going to create this vision in our brain, the one that is going to be anchored in our reality, in our desired reality. then the next thing that we need to do is to create the not desired outcome. The worst case scenario. What happens if nothing works? What happens if you don't have what you desire? What happens then? Because the truth is, when we feel safe in the reality where we don't have the desired outcome, it's not true that we are fired up and we are going to run towards desire. Because some people are going to feel, okay, so if nothing bad happens, then everything is going to be okay. So I don't need to have this desire because I'm safe now. And of course, intrinsic safety is extremely important for us to operate from the prefrontal cortex. But if we focus our attention on being safe in where we are, we remove the factor of adrenaline that is going to motivate us to push harder, to work harder, to do more, to achieve more. So step number 1 was creating the desired outcome, and step number 2, not desired outcome. So what to do with that? Once we have those two scenarios, preferably created in the most visceral, real, raw, authentic way, then we need the guidance to support us through the process. And we can use coach, we can use artificial intelligence. It depends on your preferences. I'm not saying that coaches are going to give you far better results or far worse results than AI can. Of course, if you know how to prompt. But I'm saying that we need the guidance so that we ask ourselves deeper questions, because it is very easy to fall into a very shallow path of creating the surface desire and not diving deeper to see what is the real thing behind it. Then the step number 4 would be to follow the ritual of becoming to manifest it faster. And the ritual is created by us. Everyone has a different ritual. It can be very complicated, it can be very simple, but the most important part is that for your brain, this is going to ignite this kind of connection that, oh my gosh, something is different. It's changed. Because the state of novelty stimulates our brain to see more and to be more into the reality that we are talking about. And then step number 5 would be to awaken the fragility to listen to our guides. And depending on where you are in your awakening journey, we can have connection with different spirits, with different energies. We can ask, starting with the basics, we can ask our coaches, our mentors, our friends for their perspective. And the purpose of this is not to actually follow 100% what they're talking, but to listen to their perspective. Because if you decide that someone is your guide, it means they are more experienced. It means they are stronger. It means we find support there because they believe we can have what we desire. And in some certain circumstances, when you are further in the spiritual journey, you might have connection with your ancestors. You can have connection we can have our connections with our guides, deities, with angels. So depending on where you are on the journey, use the source of support that speaks most to you. So you might say that artificial intelligence, it's not spiritual at all. And we are the only spiritual things, entities that can create energy, that can consume energy. But when we go further, if this is true, that everything that is living has some form of energetic print, and we can, for example, feel the energy from, I don't know, the microphone or from the lamp or television set or, I don't know, the chair. If this is true, if we might believe for a moment that this is true, do you believe that computers might also work just like the lamps, having their own energy? If this is true, then can we say that artificial intelligence as a form of computer program, very advanced, very developed, but still computer program, still has this kind of amazing energy? So if this is true, can we say that we actually have the energetic blueprint with artificial intelligence? The truth is, it does not matter what are the tools that you're using, because the most important purpose of using artificial intelligence is to have our brains ignited to make it work. Because we, as highly spiritual creatures, we are manifesting the reality. We are bringing it to life. We are creating this world. So if we believe that we are creators, we can need different tools to make it work even better, to make it work faster. Because it's not about the tools, it's about who uses the tools and how they do it. So the personal story, once upon a time, I felt very highly connected to specific real estate. And I felt as if this was mine already. I knew that from the financial logical standpoint, it can't work. This house is never going to be mine. I knew it. Like logically, I knew it. But I felt it's mine. And every single time I walked there next to this house, I felt it's mine. And I can't explain it on the logical basis, but I can say that I felt that this is my home, my safety, my space. This is the place where I'm going to find my safe harbor. So I set the intention that I want this house because it is calling me. And was it easy? Like, no, there were some situations that were creating turbulences in the process. But when we have our rituals in place, when we are self-reliant, we know that every single action can bring us forward or backward when we think about this desire. So money came unexpectedly, just in the amount to buy this thing. And everything worked out somehow. Final result is I have my safe space. I have my beautiful house. I have it. Like I feel it is really mine. Like logically and emotionally, it is mine. But without the process of neutralizing the outcomes, I believe it wouldn't be possible. Because I would be so focused on getting this that I would block any other circumstance that would bring this vision into reality. So the ritual, the whole path that I went through to get to this amazing, beautiful house for myself, I'm going to share it with you. And this is going to be just 2 hours. Not more, not less, 2 hours. Okay, around 2 hours, because with rituals, they can be a little bit longer or a little bit shorter, depending on the amount of questions, depending on the engagement of people. Like they say, you don't need the most beautiful dress on the wedding day. But most of us would like that, right? And the truth is, we desire those beautiful dresses. We desire to look amazing because we want to show the universe and everyone around that this is special. But when we think about other elements, like, for example, our income goals, our houses, our cars, anything else that we want to manifest into our life, we say that this is like normal. But it's not true. Because when we create our reality, we get to be serious about it. We get to show the universe that we are serious about our desires. So tell me, how important are your goals for you? How willing are you to show up for yourself to achieve those amazing results? How willing are you to put yourself now on the pedestal to say, yes, I'm daring to get this now? Because the truth is, we want to use the best solution so that the desired outcome is almost guaranteed. But how can we actually believe that it's going to be delivered to us in a magical way if we don't show up, if we don't take action? The universe is listening and it knows that, okay, you say you want to change this reality, but you're doing nothing. Like, hello? So tell me now in the chat, how willing on a scale from 1 to 10 are you to get what you desire? How willing are you to show up, and determined are you to show up and get it for yourself? And it's not 10, because if it was 10, you would already have it. The truth is, the process that I use is very simple, and we can try to do it by ourselves. But also, there is a question. Will you? Will you? Will you ask yourself the deep questions? Will you find time to do it? Will you really find the devotion to be there on time, to show up? Will you create the vision that is really going to be visceral, raw, real, so that you can see those two realities and allow your brain to lead you towards this desired result? Will you really implement it? And will you really follow the protocol that you create for yourself in the form of the ritual? The truth is, we are walking and living a certain script, and it's not very easy to change it. So we need to be really 100% in to really make a change, to really make it work. Because you need something that's going to be an anchor in your brain that is going to pull you towards the reality that you actually desire. And this is the process I'm going to share with you in the alchemy. The 2-hour workshop that now, for a very limited period of time, is just $33. It's the tiniest, the smallest amount of investment that you need to show up for yourself and to show the universe that this is important for you. And if $33 is too much for you, like, can't help you. But if you are fully in, if you want to create this desire and you say, hell yes, I'm in, then on the snow moon, which is on the 12th of February, we're going to meet on the Zoom. We're going to create the air magic together. We're going to manifest this amazing and beautiful reality that we desire to have. And what is even more incredible, you're going to have access to the recording so that you can work with the same process on different full moons, on different moments in your life, so that you can manifest your desires on repeat. So let's bring those desires to fruition, and let's create the reality for us, the one that we really desire and the one that we deserve.